Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Michaela Peters. I found this shirt that I got 2 years ago and I was like, wow, how exciting. I think the best part about having all this random crap from around the world is like, it reminds me of, oh yeah, like I actually did fun things at some point in my life rather than just like working and being trapped in America. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, anyway, so, I was thinking about that. Oh, I put this on wrong. This is for the baby. She's hanging out with me. She usually falls asleep around 10. I do not know, like, what she's doing right now, honestly. She's just hanging out with me, and she has to go to the doctor's today, which I'm going to pay full price for. Woohoo. Alright, so I'm going to start this video also with, like, an advertisement, and I might keep advertising this from time to time, and this is not a paid advertisement. This is a me advertisement. So, like, my aunt is really into, like, inventing things. This is one of her hobbies, and so, like, she invented these, like, backpack things. They're called a pet pack, and they're not really available online, so this is an exclusive offer. You basically have to email me if you want one of these, but the whole point of this, and to be honest, I'm gonna have to report on this later because the baby is still too small, is like, it's a backpack that the kid can wear through the airport. This is for traveling. Obviously runs in the family. And it's like a lap tray thing. So you set, and it's got a cup holder, so you set this on you. It's like an activity kind of thing. The kid can set on their lap when they're like on the airplane. And it comes with a soft blanket that also says pet pack on it, which I was using for the baby, and I probably need to wash because I think it got something on it. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But yeah, if you want one of these, I guess shipping in the US is pretty easy, and I could bring one to Finland and ship it out of Finland. So yeah, in terms of shipping it around Russia, I'm sure it's possible, but it would be a logistical effort. So if you're really interested, I guess I could do that too. Okay, so that's the long irrelevant interlude as usual, and I have a meeting in 9 minutes, and we're going to take the baby to the doctor's kind of shortly after that. I still need to cut all my hair off because it's falling out, because apparently this is something that happens after... Oh no. What's wrong? After you gave birth? Oh, pacifier. Where is that thing? One moment, please, because now that I don't have a video editor, we just gotta wing this. Yeah, I'm like really trying here to keep this going with like such minimal effort, because obviously having a baby is like kind of takes time. And okay, so actually I had another relevant thing I want to say. This morning I was thinking about how in a past life maybe I really was Russian, JK, because I don't believe in reincarnation, but like really was having that thought this morning. And like, yesterday I went to go see my one friend and his mom. Mostly went to go see the mom because she speaks Russian and we speak Russian sometimes, and like it's good practice. But anyway, the thing about that was, I just like enjoy speaking to Russian people and stuff, and like I was always like, I'm a Russian magnet when I was younger. But anyway, like with like people in the US. So I don't really know what my point was with that. It was just like a weird thought. Oh no, the whole point was like having a baby and stuff. And so like my friend is like, you're acting like having a baby's not a big deal, because people are like, what's it like to be a mom? And I'm like, it really doesn't feel that different. And then I was like, it's kind of like having a puppy, but just like more involved. And like this mom was like, what? And I'm like, that's how I feel right now. I mean, yeah, it's like work, but like, I guess if you like the work you're doing, it's like, you don't mind it. So that's pretty much how I feel. So like, because I wanted a baby for such a long time, it's like, I'm not really complaining about it, but also I have a super easy baby. Like, she's literally just sitting here chilling, and not crying, and she only cried because, like, I need to change her diaper, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense, that's an obvious one, but yeah, she, like, just is chill. So, literally, thank goodness for that. Anyway, so really the whole point of this video, with the very long irrelevant interlude, because those were just my thoughts of the morning, was, talking about, like, time perception in the US versus Finland. And I'm going to try to, like, do this quickly with, like, the 6 minutes I have, because it's, like, 6 till the hour. I explained this to somebody at the restaurant. I'm like, and when I'm in the US, it just feels like time is on, like, hyper speed. And then when I'm in Finland, it feels like it's, like, very slow. Like, it's like a snail. I one time said my one friend works at the speed of a lightning bolt, and I work at the pace of an injured turtle. Now, not comparing that to people, that's a really good comparison for, like, Finland versus the US. Like, Finland, time speed feels like an injured turtle. I don't mean that as an insult. That I think that's actually nice. And then, because, keep in mind, I really like my lifestyle there. In New Jersey, it feels like a lightning bolt. And so the thing that I think is like so, hard about being in New Jersey is like I just don't feel like I have a life. Or really what happens is my family's very involved in my life, so it feels like very like overshadowed by my family, which is fine. It's really hard to like see friends, and so it's really hard to have like very close friends because like I just do not have the same time capability to spend with them when I'm in New Jersey as I do like when I'm in Finland, and it's like I literally only have friends. My family does not live there. That's how it is. Okay, cool, whatever. But, part of it is like working. Part of it is I think that, people just feel very like stressed out and like this whole ambient stress thing in America. I think also the fact that everything is so profit and commercial driven, it just feels like there are like a lot of opportunities, and sometimes it can be very difficult to, like, kind of, I'm going to say like prioritize and strategize. Like I was also thinking about the fact that like I have a bigger square footage apartment here and no roommate, which means I have a lot more crap and a lot more space. And just the idea that like having these big houses in the US, like to me it's a huge inefficiency because you'll have these huge houses, barely anybody lives in them, you'll have like 2 people in like a huge house. That obviously needs to get cleaned, whether you're doing it or it's providing a job for somebody else. It is something that is happening. So, there is all of that. So I think that, for me, I'm trying to understand, like, yeah, the housing thing is one thing, and I live in a smaller house now. Yeah, cleaning the house, whatever. Okay. This is the please pay attention to me and hold me kind of situation at this point. Yeah, but, part of it I think is the economy. There are always opportunities to work. Working, this idea that you have to be like constantly on and available for work. I don't know how it works in Finland. I haven't had a job in Finland in a while. But there's that. And man, I really like thought about this, but then I was like, okay, how am I going to actually like talk about it? I didn't get that far. All right. So things that contribute also to a slower pace of life, car versus no car. Okay. So the other thing with a car is that you can get a lot more things done more quickly. However, then your expectation for what you can actually get done is going to grow. So in Finland, where I don't have a car, it's like not very realistic that I'm going to be able to like go a bunch of places within the day and like, you have to be a lot more realistic and limiting in like what you're going to do in the day that requires you to like transport yourself somewhere else. Personally, the whole like driving with lots of cars is exhausting because I have to pay attention to like, there's a whole social element to driving also, something I'm not good at now. But, whereas in Finland, I just get to sit on the bus or I get to sit on the train. So like commuting times tend to be relaxing instead of stress inducing. And like getting rid of cars and like being car centric is simply nothing. It's simply something that is never going to happen in the US. And that's why I strongly prefer to live in a place where I basically don't really need to drive very far ever. I probably drive like 15 minutes for everything I need to do. Today with the baby's doctor appointment, we're actually going to drive 30 minutes, which is like, oh my God, such a big deal. So anything that's like an hour away, like good luck with that. That's why I'm like, if I have friends who live an hour away, like they're probably going to see me once every 6 months to a year because I'm sorry, I'm just like not making that sacrifice because a lot of it again comes down to time. Like right now, I have clothes all over the place. This is such a long story, but yeah, and then the idea of like actually trying to get through putting the clothes away, now that's an even longer story. Like like there's so much going on, and then it's like I feel like people expect you to like work harder and contribute more and be more engaged, and it's like I think that's really hard when you're just like kind of in survival mode. Like certain things I want to do, like I want to go back to exercising, like I'm sick of being fat. I understand it's like, well, it took you a year to put on all the weight, so it might take you another year to put it off. Get it off, whatever. I don't care. I still don't like it. So I'm just saying, it is hard. And this is one of the things like I regret right now is I'm like, I wish I had a full-time job in Finland and then got pregnant and then had a year off paid instead of, the whole like America thing where you go back to work and it's like annoying and yeah. So this is a problem. I don't know. Like I kind of miss having a slower pace of life, but now the other theory I have is that that's what contributes to all of your weird, unstable, codependent relationships that result in drama, which I don't like. So therefore I'm kind of like, maybe this whole like working 9 to 5 and being incredibly busy and stressed out is like a necessary evil to like avoid those kinds of weird interpersonal relationship issues. So, I'm gonna say this 500 times as I always do. There are problems everywhere. Just pick your set of problems. Which problems do you prefer having? Do you prefer having weird interpersonal relationship problems? I'm asking myself this question. I don't really like that. Or do you prefer being very stressed out and like constantly anxiety induced? I don't really like that either. And like, to be honest, I don't know that I really have found the answer to this question, which is why I currently have the lifestyle that I have. So, you know, Finland is like a break. Like if I'm like super stressed out in the US and working a lot and super busy, blah, 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 and then I go back to Finland, it's like I can finally like breathe. And you know, like that's what Finland is there for me. Now, we can't hide the elephant in the room of the fact that the Finnish job economy, Finnish job market completely sucks. Like we know that this is a reality of like what's going on with the current situation. Unfortunately, the economy is getting worse everywhere and people not only cannot find jobs, but they can't find places to live. I frequently ask myself the question of what is going to happen when things get bad enough. Are people just going to become homeless? Are people just going to start like stealing? Are people just going to start like killing each other and just like really trying to survive? Is it going to be like the Hunger Games? Like, I really wonder this all the time. But anyway, that's super irrelevant. Yeah, so basically, time is different and time is relative and your perception of time is relative. Oh yeah, the real whole thing I wanted to talk about was like actually scientifically what contributes towards your perception of time. But I think I'm going to leave that video for another day. Anyway, me and my baby need to go to another meeting now. Until next time, bye.